Hmm. Hare Krishna. Sugandha Mataji, last time I think you read till 23 or 22.
Yes.
So maybe Pratik Prabhu, would you like to read from 23 to maybe 46? We can't hear you.
Am I audible?
Now I can hear.
Yeah. Yes, please. Thank you. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Chapter 13. The behavior of a perfect person. Verse 22. Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is full of opulences, is predominant within the core of our heart, of your heart, because of your being a pure devotee. He always drives away all the darkness of ignorance as the sun drives away the darkness of the universe. My dear king, although you know everything, you have posed some questions which I shall try to answer according to what I have learned by hearing from authorities. I cannot remain silent in this regard, for a personality like you is just fit to be spoken to by one who desires self purification. Because of insatiable material desires, I was being carried away by the waves of material nature's laws, and thus I was engaging in different activities, struggling for existence in various forms of life. In the course of the evolutionary process, which is caused by fruitive activities due to undesirable material sense gratification, I have received this human form of life, which can lead to the heavenly planets, to liberation, to the lower species, or to rebirth among human beings. In this human form of life, men and women unite for the sensual pleasure of sex. But by actual experience, we have observed that none of them are happy. Therefore, seeing the contrary results, I have stopped taking part in materialistic activities. The actual form of life for the living entities is one of the spiritual happiness, which is real happiness. This happiness can be achieved only when one stops all materialistic activities. Material sense enjoyment is simply an imagination. Therefore, considering this subject matter, I have ceased from all material activities and am lying down here. In this way, the conditioned soul living within the body forgets his self interest because he identifies himself with the body. Because the body is material, his natural tendency is to be attracted by the varieties of the material world. Thus, the living entity suffers the miseries of material existence. Just as a deer, because of ignorance, cannot see the water within a well covered by grass, but runs after water elsewhere. The living entity covered by the material body does not see the happiness within himself, but runs after happiness in the material world. The living entity tries to achieve happiness and rid himself of the causes of distress, But because the various bodies of the living entities are under the full control of material nature, all his plans in different bodies, one after another, are ultimately baffled. Materialistic activities are always mixed with three kinds of miserable conditions: Adhyatmika, Advaidika, and Abhibhutika. Abhibhutika. Therefore, even if one achieves some success by performing such activities, what is the benefit of this success? One is still subjected to birth, death, old age, disease, and the reactions of his fruitive activities. The Brahmana continued, I am actually seeing how a rich man who is victim of his senses is very greedy to accumulate wealth and therefore suffers from insomnia due to fear from all sides, despite his wealth and opulence. Those who are considered materially powerful and rich are always full of anxieties because of governmental laws, thieves and rogues, enemies, family members, animals, birds, persons seeking charity, the inevitable time factor, and even their own selves. Thus, they are invariably afraid. Those in human society who are intelligent should give up the original cause of lamentation, illusion, fear, anger, attachment, poverty, and unnecessary labor. The original cause of all these is the desire for unnecessary prestige and money. The bee and the python are the are two excellent spiritual masters who give us exemplary instructions regarding how to be satisfied by collecting only a tiny and how to stay in one place and not move. From the bumblebee, I have learned to be unattached to accumulating money, for although money is as good as honey, anyone can kill its owner and take it away. I do not endeavor to get anything, but am satisfied with whatever is achieved in its own way. If I do not get anything, I am patient and unagitated, like a python, and lie down in this way for many days. Sometimes I eat very small quantity and sometimes a great quantity. Sometimes the food is very palatable and sometimes it is stale. Sometimes prasada is offered with great respect and sometimes food is given neglectfully. Sometimes I eat during the day and sometimes in night. Thus I eat what is easily available. To cover my body, I use whatever is available, neither to be it to be linen, silk, cotton, whether it is linen, silk, cotton, bark, or dark skin, a deer skin, according to my destiny, and I am fully satisfied and unagitated. Sometimes I lie on the surface of the earth, sometimes on leaves, grass, or stone, sometimes on a pile of ashes, or by the wheel of others in a place on a first class bed with pillows. O my Lord, sometimes I bathe myself very nicely, smear sandalwood pulp all over my body, put on a flower garland, and dress in fine garments and ornaments. Then I travel like a king on the back of an elephant or on chariots or horses. Sometimes, however, I travel naked, like a person haunted by a ghost. Different people are of different mentalities. Therefore, it is not my business either to praise them or to blaspheme them. I only desire their welfare, hoping that they will agree to become one with the Supersoul, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. The mental concoction of discrimination between good and bad should be accepted as one and then invested in the mind, which should be invested in the false ego. The false ego should be invested in the total material energy. This is the process of fighting false discrimination. A learned, thoughtful person must realize that material existence is illusion. This is possible only by self realization. A self realized person who has actually seen the truth should retire from all material activities, being situated in self realization. Prahlada Maharaj, you are certainly a self realized soul and a devotee of Supreme Lord. You do not care for public opinion and so called scriptures. For this reason, I have described to you without hesitation the history of my self realization. Narada Muni continued. After Prahlada Maharaja, the king of the demons, heard these instructions from the saint, he understood the occupational duties of a perfect person, Paramahamsa. Thus, he duly worshipped the saint, took his permission, and then left for his own hometown. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pratik Prabhu. Hope you really enjoyed
Thank you.
reading about the great lives of Avadutas.
Yes, Prabhuji, quite, uh, revising this and it's how to say it, sometimes gives goosebumps thinking like
Where are we
uh,
going? Hmm?
yeah, and how to be on that side means it's insane, yeah, but very nice to hear. Yeah, thank
Very
you.
nice. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for reading. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकथां महीं ददति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुश्रीयुतपदकमलान् श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितां तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपदान् सहगणललित श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नाम्ने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी ऋषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायण नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टाप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवते उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकीं। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। So this particular verse is yeah, let me quickly check. So this is coming after, I mean, in the previous chapter, seventh canto, chapter 12, Narad Muni is explaining the duties of brahmachari, one who is in the brahmacharya line of order, and also he has covered about vanaprastha. In this chapter, he continues to explain the duties of a sannyas. So that's very interesting that usually there is a, I mean, at least externally, superficially, one may think, okay, sannyas order itself means freedom. He is giving up all this detached from the Maya, detached from the Moha. Yeah. Yes, but it means also detaching is one thing, but connecting or reconnecting is important, reconnecting. And this is what in this chapter 13, let me check. We have covered till verse 22 and or even, yeah, 23. So the summary, I could quickly check. Yeah. So till 23, it is the duties of sannyas are mentioned. Conversation between the Brahman between Prahlad Maharaj and Avaduta Brahmana. So this started, and of course, um, the sage recites an example here. When he meets Prahlad Maharaj, he took the great opportunity. He went to the forest. When he went to the forest, he met this Brahmana, and when he saw the Brahmana, he immediately sought his support. In one way, it shows the greatness of Prahlad Maharaj. In um, further, we can also understand that not only Prahlad Maharaj, yeah, if we see the life of Lord Ramachandra, when he went to the forest, what he did is that he approached all the rishis, munis, tapasvis, who were always absorbed in self, super soul, Paramatma realization, and so while that is the secret of successful end of one's life, yes, otherwise we can one may even stay in vanaprastha ashram forever. But it is said vanaprastha ashram is like a bridge. We know anyway next week, hopefully, yeah, if you finish this chapter properly, the next week we will cover the duties of grihastha life, family life. What is ideal? What is an ideal family life? This is what we will read. So here in this chapter, or I was mentioning that Vanaprastha ashram to go to forest is only a temporary halt or temporary support system. Now, it's not that okay, one can stay in Vanaprastha ashram forever. Why such a Vanaprastha ashram is there is to prepare ourselves to attain actually a stage of sannyas. And come on, in which century are we? What are we talking? There is literally, I only know that there is one who is not married is called a brahmachari. One who is married is called a grihastha. Only two classes of men are there, right? So there are no further classes. Even if one is old and old enough, still he is a grihastha, right? He is still staying together and living together. Yeah. So yeah. So it's only logical. The system has come down to having only two classes of men. One is unmarried, one is married. Of course, we have new trends coming as married, unmarried, sorry, unmarried, married, divorced, remarried, divorced. I think have anyone seen a gramophone? When gramophone is playing, somehow when the discs, round discs which get somehow when they get old and when the lines on that are somehow messed, then you keep hearing the same thing. It's as if like I don't know if Father is a proper joint. Yeah, we were talking about the steps, yeah, in a dance. There is always like two steps front, one step back, or one step front, two steps back. Whatever, if you do, if it is one step, two steps back, yeah, there is literally no progress. If it is 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Maybe there is little progress, but
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I think the audio is not coming because um,
Yeah, we couldn't hear.
Hare Krishna, from when did you hear? Did not hear?
continue, please.
Sorry? From when didn't you not hear? Hare Krishna.
Just from 1 minute, not much. Just from.
The battery, I don't know. Yeah, this is low in battery, I think. Okay, as a backup. This sounds better. So, okay. So where am I? Did you hear where I was mentioning that, yeah, Pratik Prabhu was reading, and then Prahlad Maharaj, when he met the Brahmana said, Prahlad Maharaj asked, yeah, you do not work to earn your livelihood, but you have a stout body like that of a materialistic enjoyer. You have no money for sense enjoyment. How then has your body become so fat? So, and then you appear learned and intelligent, yet you lie down inactive. Hmm. This so then after all this, captivated Prahlad Maharaj was asking right questions. That Brahmana opened his mouth, and after he opened his mouth, he said, huh, um, you have a spiritual vision, yeah, you are respected by advanced men, uh, and you are aware of the different stages of life, and by your inner spiritual vision you can see a man's character and results of his actions. Saying this because of your pure devotion to Lord Narayan, uh, he is predominant in your heart. He always drives away ignorance as and drives away the darkness of the universe. Saying so, and from this verse 23, we can see, I mean, 23. Yes, or actually 20. Yasya Narayano Devo Bhagavan Hridgatah Sada Bhaktya Kevalaya Jnanam Dunoti Dvantam Arkatvat. Arkavat means like sun. As soon as the sun rises, the sun drives away the darkness of the universe. Bhagavan Hridgati Sada. Lord resides Narayano Devo. This is nice shloka. Yasya Narayano Devo Bhagavan Hridgata Sada. He is always there. Hridgata means in the core of the heart. Hmm. Kevalaya, sorry, Bhaktya Kevalaya Jnanam. So, in the purport, Prabhupada writes the word Bhaktya Kevalaya indicates that simply by executing devotional service, one can become full of knowledge. So, this is the secret of Krishna consciousness. It's not like, okay, you first drill down. I think Satish Prabhu, was it last Sunday? We were discussing about knowledge. Yes, I think last Sunday. Uh, is it only about knowledge? Chapter 5 from Bhagavad Gita in the Bhakti Vriksha we were discussing, right? So Krishna is the master of all knowledge, and when Krishna is pleased, and He will just bestow what exactly we need. The Lord is situated in everyone's heart. Ishvara sarva bhutanam hriddesha arjuna tishtati. He is there. And when Lord is pleased with a devotee, the Lord instructs him. Only to devotees, however, does the Lord give instructions by which to advance further and further in devotional service. So only to Kevala Bhaktya Kevalaya Kevalaya Jnanam. This Kevalaya only required knowledge is given. To others, the non-devotees, the Lord gives instructions according to the manner of their surrender. That's why Yayatha Mam Prapadyante. The pure devotee is described by the word Bhaktya Kevalaya. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains that Bhaktya Kevalaya means Jnana Karmadi Amishraya. Amishraya means, Mishra is uh, mixture. Amishraya means unmixed or pure. Jnana Karmadi, unmixed with fruitive activities or speculative knowledge. Simply surrendering at the lotus feet is the cause of all a devotee's enlightenment and awareness. Very important. I don't know who has joined. Let me quickly check when I'm taking names. I hope they are not there. I hope that they are not there. Yeah. Okay. Mhm. So with that, we can understand the importance that devotee doesn't have to do anything extra. Everything is taken care if he becomes a devotee, and because he has knowledge, he doesn't have to run around to become a devotee. It is not going to work. Rather, it is the other way because the Lord is going to reveal something that is very, very exclusively guarded from being taken away. Yeah, just like if there is a museum, there is a curator, and the curator job is to protect. At the same time, one may think, okay, it is the job of the curator, but this job is granted by whom? The owner. So one may not question the Lord, hey, why the Lord has to do all these things if He is the master, if He is the owner? No, He engages His energy. He engages His energy. Who is that? Maya, Maya Shakti. With that energy, He covers and uncovers based on our interest, our faith. Hmm. तथापि ब्रूमहे प्रश्नांस् तव राजन् यथा श्रुतं सम्भाषणीयो हि भवान् आत्मनः शुद्धिम् इच्छत्या. My dear king, although you know everything, you have posed some questions which I shall try to answer according to what I have learned by hearing from authorities. We should not forget that here this Brahmana uh, uh, is a great learned scholar. Hmm. At the same time, we should not forget Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj also is a Parama Bhagavata, Mahabhagavata. So when a Mahabhagavat is coming, uh, here very interestingly we can see first of all Mahabhagavat is not going and start saying, okay, let me speak. Wherever I go, yeah, just Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, oh, this is what I want. Wherever he went, that's not that he is spreading. He is taking the opportunity. So he is in a humble position approaching a sadhu, a sannyasi here. And again, the sadhu here is not just any ordinary. He may not say, oh, he is a Mahabhagavat, let me, uh, on the contrary, um, uh, be silent. Huh? Pratik Prabhu, when will someone not speak? Hmm?
And
In what cases people don't speak?
when there is a lack of knowledge.
Exactly. And why they don't speak when they don't have knowledge?
Mm,
Yeah, because they get caught, right? Yeah. People don't speak, especially in front of learned scholars, because they say, "Oh, okay, yeah, he very well knows that what is my shortcomings, what is my understanding is not there, and all these things, right?" So they prefer not to speak. Mm. This is one thing, and there is another aspect of not speaking is first of all not knowing, and other one is okay, very humble. Even if one knows, they know that there can be some more to know. Huh? In the case of okay, in the case of hmm, this Brahmana, he said, yeah, on the one side he's telling, oh Prahlad Maharaj, you know everything because you are having pure knowledge about the Lord Narayana Deva, and at the same time, Brahmana is not an ordinary Brahman. Yeah, he's just sharing what he realized. Yeah. So we can see that he is not like, okay, what will happen if I speak and if it's not up to the standard of Prahlad Maharaj. No, here we can see this Brahman is also Pakka learned. And then that's why he's revealing. So this kind of conversations are very, very powerful. Hmm. They are so powerful and help help us to understand what is the mood that we should develop. Tatapi brumahe prashnams tava rajan yatha shrutam sambhashaniyo hi bhavan atmana suddhim icchata. Yes, saying which now, although you know everything, you have posed some questions which I shall try to answer according to what I have uh, learned by hearing from authorities. I cannot remain silent in this regard, for a personality like you is just fit to be spoken to by one who desires self purification. You see, in this shloka, the mood of the Brahmana, he is saying, I will benefit by speaking. Why? He is saying that if there is any room of any corrections, yeah, such a great person will tell, yeah, this is not, yeah, I think by having, we should not be fearful to be become fool. Mm. If we don't know, we don't know. By approaching a sadhu, when we are asking, when we are talking, no, no, no. What will the person will think if I open my mouth? Come on, I know myself. I don't qualify. You know, so many people have so many such kind of reservations, and they don't talk. And when they don't talk, they don't develop. In order that we want to develop, we need to open up. And here is saying that's why purport is says a saintly person does not wish to speak to anyone and everyone, and he is therefore grave and silent. So that is a nature, that is the real nature of a sadhu, that he doesn't vacho vegam manasakroda vegam jihva vegam udarupastha vegam. Hmm. These are urges that are pushing us always to lose control of our mind and senses. But here, the reason why the Brahmana is talking to Prahlad Maharaj is saying, I cannot remain silent in this regard, for a personality like you is just fit to be spoken to by one who desires self purification. This shows the humble or humility of the Brahmana. The purport. Generally, a common man does not need to be advised. Common man, unless one is prepared to take instructions, it is said that a saintly person should not address him. Although sometimes, because of great kindness, a saintly person speaks to ordinary men. So this vacho vegam can create, yeah. We may be, oh, come on, we may justify 100 things, saying, you know what I'm speaking is for others' welfare. what I'm speaking is not at all for me. It is only for the loka kalyana. It's only for the welfare of others. If I speak, no, otherwise, I am the savior, the saving grace, uh, the Messiah, and all these things. That's why we keep talking, doing to. Here it is said, you unless one is prepared to take instructions, it is said that a saintly person should not address him. Although sometimes, because of great kindness, a saintly person speaks to ordinary men. So, a qualification of a saint, oh, I can become a saintly man by not speaking. No, we can always forbid. That means we should not engage in ordinary association with the materialistic people. Hmm. Unless someone is asking us, better not speak. Yeah, because if the person is not serious, what is the uh, potent and of the advice, instructions. And as for Prahlad Maharaj, however, since he was not a common ordinary man, whatever questions he posed would have to be answered even by a great and exalted personality. Therefore, the saintly Brahmana did not remain silent but began to answer. These answers, however, were not concocted by him. This is indicated by the word yatha shrutam. Shrutam means to hear, yatha shrutam. As it is, I have heard, I am speaking. Bhagavad Gita, as it is making the world a better place. Why? Because there is this as it is. When this as it is not there, there were so many Bhagavad Gitas, so many. Yeah, they didn't penetrate. They didn't penetrate into the core of people's way of living. Yeah, Bhagavad Gita. I don't even can imagine if I would have ever read Bhagavad Gita, uh, uh, if it was not Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita. Yeah, I have come across some Bhagavad Gita. I think the language is sophisticated. The message is very unclear. There is no proper system to understand, to follow. Srila Prabhupada made our life way, way far easier than anyone else. Why? Because he has presented Bhagavad Gita as it is. So, these answers, however, were not concocted by him. This is indicated by the word yathashrutam, meaning as I have heard from the authorities. In the parampara, I mean, this goes still further. In the parampara system, when the questions are bona fide, the answers are bona fide. No one should attempt to create or manufacture answers. One must refer to the Shastras and give answers according to the Vedic understanding. The words yatha shrutam uh, refer to Vedic knowledge. The Vedas are known as Shrutis because this knowledge is received from authorities. The statements of the Vedas are known as Shruti Parampara, Shruti Pramana. Mm. One should quote evidence from Shruti, the Vedas, or Vedic literature, and then one's statement will be correct. Otherwise, one's words will proceed from mental concoction. That's why we should keep on reading, keep on hearing, keep on reading, keep on hearing. This through this process we absorb, we soak just like a sponge. A sponge can soak, of course, based on the capacity. So we have to increase the capacity more and more and get soaked in Shastras. At the same time, imbibe the mood of what the Brahmana is, that not puffed up with knowledge. Um, तृष्णया तृष्णया भव वाहिन्या योगे कामेर अपूर्वया कर्माणि कार्यमनोहम नाना योनिषु योजिताः. Hmm. It says, because of insatiable material desires, I was being carried away by the waves of material nature's laws, And thus I was engaging in different activities, struggling for existence in various forms of life. So, as long as, in the purport Prabhupada mentioned, as long as a living entity wants to fulfill various types of material desire, he must continuously change from one body to another. He has to accept another. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains that as a small piece of grass falls in a river and is tossed about with different types of wood and tree branches, the living entity floats in the ocean of material existence and is dashed and tossed amidst material conditions. So, I don't know if anyone had seen old time Ramayana, Ramanand Sagar Ramayana, and the teachings of Vashishta Muni. Yeah, I think there is one episode where when the four brothers they go to the Gurukul of Vashishta Muni, then he started explaining all different jnana, and then there is questions that I think Bharat asks or Ram asks, and to answer that, Vashishta Muni starts explaining just like how the dry grass when it falls, we can see there are a lot of pieces of dry grass, what you call straws, that fall on the water. And the water, in whichever direction it goes, yeah, sometimes these straws can come together, they go away and set apart. So, in the same way, Jiva, this is all tossed amidst metal conditions. This is called the struggle for existence. One kind of fruitive activity causes the living being to take one form of the body, and because of actions performed in that body, another body is created. One must therefore stop these material activities, and the chance to do so is given in the human form of life. Mm. And there is further prayers that akama sarvakamo va moksha kama udhare tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta paramam param. In Bhagavatam, there is this nice prayer. A person who has broader intelligence, whether he be full of knowledge, full of material desires, without any material desire, or desiring liberation, must by all means worship the Supreme Lord. We cannot say Anya Bhilashita Sunya. Oh, come on, that Anya Bhilashita Sunya will come when we actually engage in devotion in whatever condition we are. If we are still having a lot of desires, if we are fully, fully drowning in all kinds of desires, oh no, bhakti is not for me, bhakti is for realized people. No, to become realized, we need bhakti. Bit by bit, gradually we come to that. Just imagine, um, I see a lot of ants in this time of the season. They come out. That is the time where they can take out, gather food, store them. So we see how an ant is always busy doing a lot of things to for future. Huh? It has a fear. It has a fear that tomorrow, if I don't, today, if I don't work, then tomorrow is dangerous. That is ant mentality, and ant mentality is working hard, hard, hard. But is having a vision. Yes. See how can an ant can have a vision. So ant is doing that, and on the other side, yeah, we'll come to those examples little later. So we should not think that let me become perfect, then I'll take up to this process. This process of bhakti is to become perfect, and then यदृच्छया लोकमिमं प्राप्तितः कर्मभिर्भमन् स्वर्गापवर्गयोर्द्वारं तिरश्चां पुनरस्य च. In the course of evolutionary process, which is caused by fruitive activities due to undesirable material sense gratification, I have received this human form of life, which can lead to heavenly planets, to liberation, to the lower species, or to rebirth among human beings. So that is possible. And the purport is long in the word. There is a word tirascham means refers to degraded life. Tiraskritya means rejected. Tiraskarana. Tirascham means degraded life. What is not good should be rejected, should be given up. Human life, of course, provides an opportunity for the best living conditions. Our fate lies what we do in the human life. As Western people, I mean, I'm just mixing the quote as well as my add on. As Western people think from the monkeys come the human beings who are more comfortably situated. However, if one does not utilize his human life for swarga or avarga, he falls again to the degraded life of animals like dogs and hogs. Therefore, a sane human being must consider whether he will elevate himself to the higher planets, prepare to free himself from the evolutionary process, or travel again through the evolutionary process uh, uh, in higher and lower grades of life. Prabhupada in the purport mentions our Krishna consciousness movement is therefore the highest movement for the benediction of human society because this movement is teaching people how to go back home, back to Godhead. In Bhagavad Gita 13:22, it is clearly stated that different forms of life are obtained by association with the three modes of material nature. Karanam Guna Sangos, yeah, Sat Asat Yoni uh, Janmasu. One is taking birth. So one should be careful. Uh, and as I said, this purport is explaining the human life is rare. The world where we are living is full of attractions, but we should be careful so that we are not interested to go to heavenly planets, to hellish planets, uh, to to be in a human life, to enjoy this world again and again. No, we should move on. तत्रापि दम्पतीनां च सुखाया सुखायान्यापनुत्तये कर्माणि कुर्वतां दृष्ट्वा निवृत्तोऽस्मि विपर्ययम् nivratasmi. mm. So what is saying in this human form of life, men and women unite for sensual pleasure of sex, but by actual experience, we have observed that none of them are happy. Therefore, so here, as stated by Prahlad Maharaj, in the seventh canto, chapter 8, this is I think 8, with the instructions that Prahlad Maharaj gave to the school boys. Yeah. So it said, Yen Maitunadi Grahamedi Sukham Hi Tucham. Man and woman both seek sexual enjoyment, and when they are united by the ritualistic ceremony of marriage, they are happy for some time, but finally there is dissension. And thus there are so many cases of separation and divorce. Although every man and woman is actually eager to enjoy life through sexual unity, the result is disunity and distress. Marriage is recommended to give men and women a concession for restricted sex life, which is also recommended in Bhagavad Gita by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Dharma aviruddho bhuteshu kamosmi. Sex life, not against the principle of religion, is Krishna. That's okay. Every living entity is always eager to enjoy sex life because material life consists of eating, sleeping, sex, and fear. Uh, it goes further. It says, um, in material life, one commits sinful activities, especially in eating, and because of sinful activities, one is condemned by nature's law to accept another body, which is imposed as punishment. So we should be careful what are we eating. If we eat non-vegetarian food or food that is more dominant with passion and ignorance, in fact, where was that? Anyway, there is there is an explanation. One of the purports Prabhupada is mentioning why we should be careful not eating food cooked by non-devotees. Yeah. So, but anyway, here it comes again similarly. Thus, the Vedic injunctions for marriage offers a concession to human society. The idea being that a man and woman united in a ritualistic marriage ceremony should help one another advance in spiritual life. Unfortunately, especially in this age, men and women unite for unrestricted sexual enjoyment. Thus, they are victimized, being obliged to take rebirth in the form of animals to fulfill their animalistic propensities. The Vedic injunction therefore warn Nayam Deho Deha Bhajam Nrloke Kastan Kaman Arhate with Bhajam Ye. In fact, there is a nice word here which is called Dampatinam, mm, of men and women united in marriage. We may hear Dampatya means married life. Dampati means married couple. Hmm. So it's this is the reference here. We can see the Vedic plan of eating. I think I covered. The Vedic injunctions are saying this: a human being should eat prasada offered to the deity and should enjoy sex life according to the Vedic injunctions. He should engage himself in the business of Krishna consciousness. He should save himself from the fearful condition of material existence, and he should all sleep only to recover from fatigue due to working hard. The learned Brahmana said that since everything is misused by fruitive workers, he had retired from all fruitive activities. We should also develop the spirit of retiring. It's not like a retired life means, oh, it comes all of a sudden. It's just like a spinning fan. If you, even if you even if you stop the power supply, the fan still goes round and round. And I mean, fan example is fine. What about this? What do you call this? Windmills? Is it windmill? The Of course, yeah, definitely windmill. What do you call this? Power energy tidal fans? No. What do we call this? Towers with the big fans or hydel or hydro power?
No, windmills, right, Prabhuji, or it's wind power.
Yeah, windmill is only
Hydropower. Oh, hydro is water or no, sorry.
tidal. I don't know. I forgot. Anyway, they are these big towers, right? To which there are this wind. Yeah, I mean, classically, windmills were very traditionally used for milling. Yeah, I don't know if you have been to Holland or especially this Keukenhof or some. There is one big mill where this fan is going round and round, and then it is milling for used by the farmers. But we are talking anyway. It doesn't matter. So my point I want to bring here is that such fans are going round and round for what? And then when there is wind, they push this fan. So this human grihastha life, yeah. So we are talking about that is like that. Unless one stops the supply of wind, the windmill will go on functioning, right? Or unless the mill itself is broken, yeah, fit for nothing, it will cease to. But still, it the wind can come and can disturb. Anyway, finally it becomes completely broken. That's a different thing. So here, the point here is that grihastha life we should understand to minimize the needs. Of course, what are the needs? Come on, it's a perspective. Needs means relative. Yeah, I want that. Maybe someone else doesn't want it. No, ideally. there's a one way of living, but because we have different thoughts, we think there are many ways. Just like the same sun reflecting on multiple water bodies. Yeah, if it is on a clean, pure water, yeah, it has, mm, did I say sun? No, moon. Has one view. If it is reflecting on a mirror, it has a different view. They are different. Though everyone might think that it is the same moon. No, it is one moon, but when pratibimba means the reflections. Everyone has his own thinking. Oh, life should be like this. Minimum. Minimum means what? The minimum necessities of life is a big corpus of wealth. Anyway, we'll come about the teachings of the two gurus. One is the bumblebee, and the other one is a um, Yajagar, yeah, the python. But yeah, this mentality of everyone has his own. Yeah, what is minimum need? 2 BHK. A minimum need 5 BHK. A minimum need a duplex. Everyone has his own need, of course. Come on, everyone is unique. Everyone has unique needs. Yes, is it? Yeah, one who has 10 brothers, 10 sisters to take care of them, he need a bigger house. One who has one or two siblings, yeah, has a different needs. If one has kids, they have one need. If they don't have kids, come on, everything is different. Everything is should be perfectly all right. Everyone can decide what is the minimum need. Hmm. The minimum need is to maintain this body so that we can engage in spiritual life. If the second part is not done, whatever first part we are doing is useless. To maintain all comfort to a minimum, whatever we are thinking is minimum, but if we don't remember that Krishna is there, we have ultimate goal is there is no use. It is just like minimum, I mean, uh, this example of the cage. The lady is polishing this golden cage very nicely, very nicely. Oh my God, just spending time. After all, she is retired. What is she doing? She has time, so she is polishing this cage. But she didn't feed the parrot inside the cage. Huh? We are doing the same. We are polishing. If we have 1,000 euros, we are polishing little. If we have 2,000, we are polishing it even bit more. Yeah, so all the time we are polishing this body and its connect, what do you call this, sambandha, it's related things, so that we are making sure that this world, this material life should be comfortable until I die. For me, my priority is that may this body leave the world with no pain in the end. Why? Because we are scared of pain. Because we never enjoyed what is pain. Oh, come on, what are you saying? Enjoying pain? We didn't even give a chance. How liberating it is, huh, to lead a very austerious life. We don't have to be caught up in all other things. If we think what is minimum thing for maintaining, are we doing minimum thing to liberation? Yes, yes, I'm donating. After all, I'm getting some money. I can give some money for charities. I can do that. I can do this. That is, I can do. But what is happening is we are not getting disconnected. When we do not get disconnected and we are all the time reconnected, that we end up in a problem. And that's what is mentioned here in this purport 26. The last line is saying, the learned Brahmana said that since everything is misused by fruitive workers, he had retired from all fruitive activities. सुखम अस्यात्म अस्या so सुखम अस्यात्मनो रूपम सर्वे हो परते तनुः मन संस्पर्शजान दृष्ट्वा भोगान स्वप्स्यामि संविशन. The actual form of life for the living entities is one of spiritual happiness, which is real happiness. So, actual form of life for living entities is one of the spiritual. This happiness can be achieved only when one stops all materialistic activities. Material senses, since enjoyment is simply an imagination, therefore, considering this subject matter, I have ceased from all material activities and I am lying down here. So that is an intelligence of a realized person. Of course, the purport here is longer, but we can sometimes some people will say, "Hey, come on, hey, he is an IITN and has become a brahmachari." Huh? After all, if can you imagine? Satish Prabhu, I don't know who is there someone who is an IITN here? Huh? At least tried for an IITN to become an IITN. We work hard, right? So then finally there are some people who, after all, worked and made it. And you know what? It's a fortune honey pot, huh? Not honey pot. Come on, who people are not running behind honey? It's oh, by the Navina Mataji, is Sharad Prabhu IITN?
Hare Krishna. No, no, Prabhuji. But he used to teach to the
He
students,
say,
but
come
he's
on, he
not.
has even more experience. Yeah, he is an instructor to people who want to make it to IIT. He knows. Definitely, they are very smart. They're pretty intelligent. What is happening when they are so intelligent and finally they are cracking IIT with merits and then they get admission and they are studying? Come on, life is, yeah, and I mean, we are really looking forward. Whoa, what a nice career he will have. And after all these things, why is that such smart people become brahmacharis? Why they take up to Krishna consciousness? Once in 2000 or 1999, I think 99 and 2000, that was the time when my uncle in Bangalore, he said, okay, let's go to ISKCON. That was first time I went to ISKCON. And then we saw that there were these brahmacharis who were talking, asking questions, and also were doing all kirtans and dancing and, all these things. And when I think we're making a fun comment, my uncle he immediately told, "Hey, don't take them easy. They have, uh, they are from IITs. Oh, means they are very intelligent. Because they are very intelligent, that's why they could. I mean, not all IITs, IITians are taken to Krishna consciousness, but we could see that in IIT, yeah, one who is smart enough, who is able to understand, he is able to mm, understand the real purpose of life. There is supposed to be such a instructor, a guide who can quickly expose one to the shastras, and then they understand. Okay, this is the secret of happiness. That's what here in this shloka 27 it is said. That's why this Brahmana he left home. So he is a grahastha. He left home, and he is leading a uh, detached life. They were simply cultivating knowledge that materialistic activities cannot give one happiness and that one should consequently cease from such activities is insufficient. One should cease from materialistic activities and take up spiritual activities. Then the solution to the problem will be achieved. Spiritual activities are activities performed according to the order of Krishna. Anukulena Krishnanushīlanam. If one does whatever Krishna says, his activities are not material. For example, when Arjuna fought in response to the order of Krishna, his activities were not material. Fighting for sense gratification is a materialistic activity, but fighting for by the order of the spirit of Krishna is spiritual. And goes the last part of the purport is The practical solution, therefore, is to cease from materialistic activities and engage in spiritual activities. Yajnartam karmano anyatra lokoyam karma bandhanaha. If one works for the sake of pleasing the Supreme Lord Krishna, Yajna or Vishnu, one is in liberated life. If one fails to do so, however, he remains in life of bondage. इत्येतम् आत्मना स्वार्थं सन्तं विस्मृत्य वै पुमान् विचित्राम् असाति द्वैते घोराम् आपनोति संश्रुतिम्. In this way, the conditioned soul living within the body forgets his self-interest because he identifies himself with the body. Because the body is material, his natural tendency is to be attracted by varieties of material world. Thus, the living entity suffers the miseries of material nature. So, in this way, I'm just saying where we could take actually a break. We are actually coming to the 26, 27. We are reading 29. Okay. Yeah. In this way, I mean, we could stop after the next two verses. And so here it's saying happiness, the material happiness is futile. Everyone is trying to be happy because, as explained in the previous verses, Sukham asyatmano rupam sarveho paratai tanuhum. When the living entity is in his original spiritual form, he is happy by nature. There is no question of miseries for spiritual being. As Krishna is always happy, the living entities who are his parts and parcels are also happy by nature. But because of being put within this material world and forgetting their eternal relationship with Krishna, they have forgotten their real nature. We forget, and then that's why we suffer. Sometimes people will say, "Na, oh come on, it is not done by intention." No, whatever it is, we have to understand that we create our problems. Hmm. Jalam tad udbhavai channam hitvagnyo jala kamyaya mrugatsyanam upadhavet tathanyatra ta driksvata. The example given is about a deer. Just as a deer, because it's ignorant under the grass, which is actually floating on water, it doesn't see the water, because water is transparent. So the grass will be reflecting itself into it. So one may not be able to see. The deer may not know, but runs after water elsewhere. It wants water, but it does not find water. Why? Because it's covered by the grass. The living entity covered by metal body does not seek the happiness within himself, but runs after happiness in the material world. This is one of the serious problems we are going through. One who is ignorant of scientific knowledge of the spirit does not look inside the body to find happiness in the soul. Instead, he goes outside to search for happiness, just as a deer without knowledge of water beneath the grass goes out to the desert to find water. The Krishna consciousness movement is trying to remove the ignorance of misled human beings who are trying to find water outside the jurisdiction of life. Rasovai sah rasoham apsu kaunteya. The taste of water is Krishna. To quench one's thirst, one must take water by association with Krishna. This is the Vedic injunction. Dehadibir daivatantrair atmanah sukham ihatah dukhatyayam chanishyay chanis चानीसस्य क्रिया मोघा कृता 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 मोघा कृता कृता is one is being baffled again and again. The living entity tries to achieve happiness and rid himself of causes of distress. But because the various bodies of living entities are under the full control of material nature, all his plans in the different bodies, one after another, are ultimately baffled. This reminds me of one, usually in those classes when we are talking about happiness. Is there someone here who everyone is looking for happiness? Yeah, I don't know if Anup Prabhu has joined the session when we did once in Bochum, one youth program. In that, the question is, everyone want to be happy. Someone said, and I asked, is there anyone who doesn't want to be happy? They said, no, I'm not. So I said, even if you want not to be happy, in that, what are you getting? Happiness. Because you are getting that happiness, you really want no happiness. So in fact, what we want to achieve, uh, the result is actually happiness. That's what we think. That's what we do. So because the materialist is in gross ignorance of how the laws of material nature act upon him as a result of his fruitive activity, he mistakenly plans to enjoy bodily comfort in human form of life through so-called economic development, through pious activities for elevation to higher planetary systems, and in many other ways. But factually, he becomes a victim of reactions of his fruitive act. My God, how sensitive the system of the Lord is. It's just like, have anyone seen, um, what do you call this? A rat bite, not bite, rat bouts. Is it bout, which are used to catch the rats? B, yeah, yeah. So there's the spring, and if a rat by chance come there, then immediately this spring is released. Then immediately either the mouse tail is caught, or its hand is caught, or leg is caught, whatever. Yeah, or even could even kill. So the system is so that every small mistake we are doing, knowingly, unknowingly, then everything is recorded. Nothing is left there because the Lord has made a network of witnesses. Whether at outside, there are the witnesses, inside the house there is witness, even within this body as Paramatma, as the time factor, as Paramatma, Lord is witnessing everything that we are doing. Let's be more vigilant that we cannot be unnoticed, which means, yeah, sometimes we may think, okay, I may escape, I can escape this. Oh, okay, what is so? Come on, no problem. That mentality we should know. We should be very serious because the Lord's no one can escape. One can escape punishment from the local authorities. One may escape punishment from their seniors and their seniors to the level of the nation, to the level of the country. We would call this international. No one cannot escape from the punishment of the Lord because His network, no one can escape. This purport is long, is explaining that the conclusion, as a wheel sometimes goes up and sometimes comes down, the stringent laws of material nature make the living entity in the material existence sometimes happy and sometimes distressed. How he suffers in the cycle of happiness and distress is described in the next verse, which we will take up next week. Next week, what is next week? This is Saturday. I can't promise, but I'll do something. Yeah, maybe if not in the morning, we may have a session in the evening. Let's see. Thank you very much for joining. Any questions? I think we are more familiar with this life of this Brahmana who left. We are not familiar with what happens uh, like after Brahman has left his household and attained. That's yeah, we get a heads up here what happens. Thank you. Any thoughts? Pratik Prabhu, couldn't finish all your verses.
Yeah, yes, Prabhuji. Sorry for like I took many verses, I guess.
No, no, actually, I wanted to stop at 37, but I also was thinking, okay, let's finish. And I was maybe too ambitious that I could go very briefly, but I think these are very important. So I thought, okay, let me read for myself and yeah, share.
Prabhuji, like small takeaway message, like I want to understand again. Like when Brahmachari said, like he was lying down, he was comparing with Python, like when it's not needed. So, so the question is how much hunger or how much like in day-to-day life for a normal person, but yeah, how much is okay?
Hmm.
Like because sometimes um, this
That's a very
conflict
good
comes
point.
like
Hmm.
if we are escaping work. Yeah, so
So your point is not only about food, but anything what we are taking. Yeah. Hunger
yes,
comes in many ways, right? It's hunger
responsibilities.
for
Yeah,
position, hunger for name, hunger for fame, hunger for wealth. Yeah. So hunger is so many ways, right? So this hunger is it a self need or is it selfless need? We should understand that. Sometimes, no. So hunger is, yeah. If I am hungry, will you know it? Only I know it. I need to fulfill them. So we need to understand what is that minimalistic way of living so that I can engage in a purposeful life. Yeah. If, as I said, so it's always like we, the world has become so busy, so busy. They want to make everything perfect, perfect, perfect. I no, no, no. This should be, come on, this should be precise with perfect precision. Without that precision, world will not work. No, the world was working many years back, right?
yes.
The world was working. No, come on, we made it more perfect. No, the medical advancement is perfect now. Before people were dying. Yeah, if you go to, I mean, we were talking, I think, Harish Prabhu last Sunday we were discussing, because I know a colleague from TCS, he was telling there is a village full of cancer patients, or rather there's so many people who, yeah, because of pesticides, I don't know what is the reason, but there are a lot of cancer cases that came. They go for treatment, there is even cancer hospitals. That's what I, and when I was talking with Harish Prabhu, yeah, we are talking about this, yeah, we are not talking about long time ago. So the problems will be there. Oh my God. I need to close this call because there's someone waiting for me.
Okay, thank you,
Okay.
Roji.
Maybe we continue, but the hunger is there, but this hunger shouldn't lead to overeating, means over acquiring than what we need.
Yes, Roji.
Yeah, so that is the understand. Now the question always comes, what is that minimum? That minimum is always perspective, depends, and we can tell any number of things. You are the real judge of what is really, really needed. And after your judgment, if you still think, oh, this is really needed or not, that's why you need a guru who can tell, do you really need that or not? So when you're working in synergy, when you're working in sync with the plans of your spiritual master, he will tell what is that minimum. Because I might give extra marks for myself, okay? But guru
Yes,
will tell me precisely, okay, no, no, I think you don't need that. Yeah, it is only going to bind you. Yeah.
yes, yes. Understood, Roji.
Yeah, I have someone, I have to attend them. Yeah, thank you very much. Okay then, Vanchakalpatarabhyashcha kripa sindhubhyo cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Grandhara Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanand. Hare Krishna.